Sit down. Stay a while. Just kidding. Today we're standing. Well, let's see how long I last standing up. But, hi. My name is Victoria. Welcome to Mindset Matters. We are coming up on the 1-year anniversary of this podcast. Whoa, time certainly flies when you're having fun on the internet. So today I want to reflect on how podcasting / YouTube is changing my life as someone who has made no money off of this and has under 300 subscribers. And my hope is that I can encourage you to find a creative outlet, something that you enjoy, and to not be afraid to share it with the world if that's something that you've been wanting to do. If you've been wanting to start a YouTube channel or a TikTok or start posting on Reels, do a podcast, I want to encourage you to do it. So I'm going to share my reflections on what I've learned and how this experience is changing my life. I feel like I'm a reporter standing in front of you today. I am reporting live from the Mindset Matters studio. Questionable. So let's get into reflection number 1. So I feel like podcasting has changed my relationship to social media and to the internet in a lot of ways. Now, I've always had a kind of a love-hate relationship with social media, and I really do feel like podcasting has kind of changed that. So let's talk about Instagram for a second. I have been the type of person to take very long breaks off Instagram. I haven't always enjoyed seeing what people are up to. I've definitely struggled with comparison to other people. And, you might be asking or thinking like, well, what does Instagram have to do with podcasting? But I think what it comes down to is me learning to share my own thoughts and feelings and kind of being vulnerable to strangers. It's almost repaired my relationship with social media because I've gained this certain level of confidence through doing this. And I really think learning to express yourself, somewhat unfiltered. Obviously, I'm here and I think about what I want to say and I maybe take some notes, but I'm also sharing kind of a deep part of myself where, I don't know how it's always going to be received. And learning to express myself in this way has given me a lot of confidence. And so the result of that confidence is that I can show up differently on different social media platforms. And I've been experimenting with making more content on Instagram. And, I feel like I have been on TikTok. TikTok's actually where I first started posting my thoughts on life and mindset. And that kind of is what led me to the podcast. So I do feel like in general, just taking any sort of leap in faith and start posting whatever it is that you want to post, you're going to build confidence about it. Okay, so is this actually important, right? Because as a non-podcaster listener, how relevant is this information to you, right? If you don't want to start a podcast, you might be like, okay, well, that's great, you're confident, but like, what does that have to do with me? Well, I think if you yourself can show up authentically online, it gives you this sense of freedom. You're almost ripping off the mask of having to post the perfect photos or post only one type of content. But maybe you have like a secret hobby or a hidden talent that you've been wanting to share, but you don't because you're afraid of judgment, you're afraid of what people will think, you're afraid that maybe you're actually not that good about it and you have like some sort of imposter kind of syndrome behind it. Honestly, if you want to share it, do it. I genuinely love seeing people being authentically themselves online. And I follow a lot of people that I've known for a long time or I've met in like surface level situations, let's say, and I don't know them super deep. But when I see them posting online, like very authentically, they're doing fun things, they're trying new activities, they have a I shouldn't say weird, but they have an interesting hobby that's like unexpected to me. I love it. And this bleeds into my point number 2 of how podcasting is changing my life. And that is the fact that I judge other people less. I understand now It takes guts to share online. It does. It takes a level of, I'm gonna not care if I get ripped to shreds, and if it brings me genuine joy, I'm gonna do it. And that does take guts. It brings me genuine joy to see other people being themselves, even if I don't get it. We are so judgmental to people and things that we don't understand. But when you start to express yourself from a place of genuine authenticity, you kind of free yourself of also needing to judge others, because you're like, listen, I don't want to be judged negatively by other people, so I don't want to judge other people negatively. And I know that there's people online who literally talk about other people and bash other people, and that's their whole thing. And in a way, that's their right, I guess, to express their opinions. But again, you guys know on my channel, like, we talk about mindset and how to live positively and how to live your best life. Like that, what I talk about is generally about the fact that we shouldn't be judging other people. And I hope that resonates with you. But I notice that I judge other people less, because even if I don't get it, even if I'm like, that's a bit strange to me, but do your thing, go for it. I love to see people doing their thing and being authentic. I absolutely love it. I also saw a TikTok, and the girl was saying, I think that people who bash influencers or make fun of people who kind of put themselves out there online secretly want to be influencers themselves. And I think that's really interesting, because we do project our own insecurities. I have definitely judged people in the past for maybe something I saw that I was like, secretly I probably thought that was cool. Or secretly it was like, wow, they're doing something that I could never do, right? We always hear this like, oh my gosh, you post online, I could never do that. Or you make videos on Reels, I could never do that. Yes, you could. The only reason you're saying you could never is because you aren't feeling that confidence, right? That level of security, which is totally fair. But when it comes from a negative place of, oh, I could never, like, that girl's doing that, you know what I mean? Like, if it's in this judgmental way, it is someone expressing or projecting their own insecurities. And I think that's also why mean comments don't really bother me. Like, I love constructive criticism, and I can handle someone picking apart something I say. Maybe not picking apart, but like commenting in a way that is constructive. But as soon as someone says something that's just hateful, I'm not there for it, and I don't respond, because that to me is not the type of person that I want to engage with. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for that. And I think that's also a really powerful thing, is that I can let go of the need to be understood, okay? I can let go of the need to be understood. When you express yourself online, you are opening yourself up for criticism and for hateful comments. It's going to happen. If one of your videos gets traction, you're going to have people who are going to come after you. And I think you need to kind of be prepared for this. In a way, you're never fully prepared. I remember when one of my first TikTok videos that went viral, I've only really had a few, but the first time I went viral, it was generally good comments. But then after a while, it started reaching an audience that was like bashing me. And I remember that felt so uncomfortable. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do these influencers handle this, But again, reflecting on what those comments actually were and seeing the hatefulness that are inside these people's hearts, like, I genuinely feel bad for those types of people. And it comes from a place of like, I hope you heal yourself, because you are so negative. Like, this isn't the space for that. And I think because I've created this channel around mindset matters and around the fact that I think your mindset can completely change your life, and it's completely changed mine. And because I've because I've made this channel a place for positivity and for me to express myself authentically, I can deal with people not agreeing. I can deal with people not understanding, and I don't need to be understood by everyone. And so if someone picks apart something I say and they reply with a comment that's super hateful and not at all what I meant to say, I can wash my hands of that. I don't need to respond. And I used to be more defensive, right? Like in a way, I'm not as defensive as I used to be because I used to feel like, no, I need to be understood. And this is more in real life. I used to feel I need to be understood. So I would re-explain myself over and over and over. And you get to a point, and I think podcasting in that way is changing my life in the real world where I don't need to over-explain myself even in real life because I understand that the people who get me will rock with me and they'll understand. And the people who don't get it, I don't need them to, you know? And that is so freeing. And I don't think that I would have gotten to that place fully if I didn't learn to express myself authentically on the internet, where, yes, it is a scary place. Reflection number 4, and the last reflection of the day, is podcasting/YouTube has allowed me to actively seek and enjoy being out of my comfort zone. This is life-changing. This is life-changing. And this for me did start with TikTok and the fight to end cancer, which was the boxing match that I agreed to do last year. And if you haven't heard about that, I've done a whole episode on it. But essentially, last year, I competed in a boxing match, never having boxed before. I had only been doing it as a workout. I agreed to join a team to get trained and raise money for cancer research and fight in a ring in front of 500 live people as well as live stream audience. Craziness. That was probably the most out of my comfort zone thing I've ever agreed to. And so that experience did really push me out of my comfort zone. So that started last year, beginning of 2023. Okay. Prior to that, I was posting a bit more on TikTok. I was talking about mindset. And in March of last year, I was asked to go on someone else's podcast. And I had a friend telling me to do the podcast, to start my own. And it kind of snowballed. And I had been doing Fight to End Cancer, and that was really building up my confidence in terms of being able to push myself to do new things. So yeah, I started the podcast and, I started to kind of reflect on my own work life, and fast forward to now, I've decided to start my own business. I've been building the Mindset Mastery program, and, my whole goal is really to build community, and I am launching my coaching business. What the heck is happening? And it's this thing where I don't know how this is fully going to go right now, but I'm doing it. I want to be a coach. I want to help people. I want to work with clients in small groups and one-on-one. And I know it's something that I will be good at. And I know that I'll be able to help people really master their mindset. And that's the whole point, right? And I think I'm doing it out of a genuine place of wanting to help others and feeling like this is my purpose, but also taking action. And I've gotten really good at taking action. And I think that's the part that people get stuck at, right? So I want to rewind. Let's look at Vic at the beginning of 2023. I would have never seen this coming. Starting Fight to End Cancer, to be honest, I was really scared to start sharing about it on social media. And I don't know why. I was scared of being judged, for sure. But I had to do it because I was trying to raise money for cancer research, right? And I had to push through that fear and be like, okay, well, I have to show up on social media. So I started posting about doing Fight to End Cancer and, hey, I'm about to be boxing. Literally I would, I started making videos about my practices and behind the scenes stuff and all that. And I did get a decent response from people, and people saying whoa, this is actually really cool. And people were encouraging me. I started to raise the money, and a few months in was when I kind of dove into starting the podcast. And I guess the whole point of this kind of journey is it took me doing one big thing to step really out of my comfort zone. And from there it snowballed. And now I genuinely enjoy being out of my comfort zone. And the podcast at first was out of my comfort zone. Oh my goodness. I didn't even tell anyone. I just made it and posted, hey, first episode. Like, marketing genius? No. But I just did it. I was like, okay, I just have to do it. And, at the time, I kind of was like, okay, some people are maybe going to judge me, but I don't really care. I felt confident because I was posting about Fight to End Cancer. I'd had a little bit of traction on TikTok, so I felt like I just have to do it and push through any fear, And now I'm genuinely in a place where I enjoy being out of my comfort zone. I actively look to be out of my comfort zone. And I think that stems from the confidence I've been able to build through doing this podcast and through showing up and talking to a camera and putting it out online for, whoever will watch it. And I think it comes from a place of like, not everyone's going to get it. Not everyone's going to encourage you, but like, okay, who cares? You don't need every single person to get it. You don't need everyone to find you. And I guess what I want to leave you with is that the internet, you can find your people on the internet. You're not confined to the 20, 30 people you know in real life. And I do think that that is beautiful. And I think that podcasting in this way has, made me see the internet in a different way. And it's not just this place of people posting their perfect photos and their perfect lives on social media, but it can be people sharing things authentically and building community and finding your people. I have met some really cool people through the internet, and I do think that that is really special. So if there is something that you've been wanting to do or wanting to share and post about, I really encourage you to do it and just start sharing, because you will find your people. You will find an audience that resonates. And if people are going to be mean to you about it or talk behind your back, guess what? Those are not the people that you want in your life anyways. So don't worry. I will be here encouraging you. I will be here to tell you to go for it if you really want to go for it. And one thing I want to say with my coaching is I do have what's called an awakening call, which is really a place where we dive into your personal vision and figure out, okay, what is it that you really want out of your life, and what are the things that are holding you back? And we'll start to shift your mindset through an action plan that we'll create together. So that is a 60-minute call that I offer. So if you're interested in working with me in any capacity, book a discovery call. The link will be down below. I definitely encourage you to take 20 minutes. We can chat. It's free, and we can just see if working together could be a good fit. I want to be someone to encourage you and to help you overcome your mindset barriers. So that is what I will leave you with today. Chat with you next week. Have a great one. Bye.